What's going on, guys? Welcome to Double Tigers. Well, it's a special episode. We got Alan Wu back for our AI, Asian Heritage Month. So let me bring him up real quick. What's going on, Alan?
Hey everyone, hey Jeff, excited to be here and chatting with you guys.
Well, Otaku's running. We know Otaku's running like a couple minutes late, but so what's been going on with you so far since we last talked?
I am. So the last time we talked was a few months ago when I was doing my Kickstarter campaign. Oh, by the way, Jeff, real quick, I think Nauman is asking about the stream. Could you put the link in like the group Instagram chat if you have a moment?
I got you.
Yeah. But anyway, so last couple of months I've been working on some new comic stuff. I actually just had my latest books delivered from the printer. So this is Shantu Memories of Spring. It's a slice of life anthology comic that has artwork from a bunch of amazing Asian artists. This is what I was crowdfunding back in January, so it's nice to be able to hold it in my hands and get that
now
out
you got physical copies of it, so
yeah, and I'm excited to get it out to the backers soon. And then I also have this first issue of a new series. It's called Princess Royale. This is like a separate series. It's about princesses betraying and murdering and backstabbing each other. I haven't done a Kickstarter or anything for this, so I haven't really tried to push this one as much. But I also, it's nice to have copies of this too. And I guess like in the next few months, I'll try to figure out how to market it a little bit.
Yeah, so that's pretty much. Here comes Nauman. What's going on, Nauman?
Hey guys, what are you guys doing? Hiding from me?
Hey, Nauman. Yeah, I think this is just like a little scuff starting it. Like Otaku said, he's running a little late, and then my StreamYard crashed immediately. So it's just we're having a few hiccups.
I see. Yeah, you guys didn't.
Well, you froze for a second.
Huh?
You froze for a second. What were you saying?
Oh yeah, I was just going by the schedule on the spreadsheet, and I thought it was on Otaku's channel, but it's on Jeff's channel.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought the same thing, and then he messaged me like a day. What was it? I forgot what day he messaged me. He goes, it's on your channel. I go, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I did see this, but it was a few weeks ago, so I kind of forgot too. Like it was because I think Otaku scheduled it, but it was always on your channel for some reason. I thought you guys had talked about it.
Well, it's fine, but so what you got going on now?
Oh, I just got through talking to.
Oh no, you froze again.
You froze again.
Yeah, please. Here, I have a slow. Hold on. Let me turn the screen down. I'll go ahead and make it. Hopefully, this takes a little bandwidth with this low resolution. But
who are you talking to?
Simple Simon from Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He had a Lipway visit in Australia.
Oh, that's amazing.
He bought some Lipway's art.
And, that's always cool.
Yeah.
Lipway is one of the artists in Memories of Spring. He did. Let me see. This the inks for this story. Like he's really good at action scenes. I think. So yeah, I was really happy to have him be part of this project.
And
oh no.
You froze again.
every time you start saying something, you freeze.
I got some books coming, right?
Yeah. So I just got all my copies
What's going
in
on,
this
Katie?
week.
Keep up.
Katie. And so yeah, I'm in the process of shipping everything out now.
But oh man, hey, I one I'm using now. I'm using Restream.
Oh, Restream. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried the Riverside. There's another one called Riverside too, or yeah, River. What is
I
it?
already
Yeah,
bought it because I actually liked it. I liked how it does a art presentation.
yeah.
It gives you without extra cost. It gives you extra camera, so I could do, one for me and the camera. It's a pretty lousy when it does a multi-stream stuff, but it does a good camera presentation for art stream. So I'm really enjoying that part of the feature, and it's a lot cheaper. So
Yeah. Even the Riverside one is a lot cheaper too.
and also the free ones have a lot of features that StreamYard used to have.
Yeah.
So you, you might want to, and the free one don't have that stupid duck head. I hate that duck head. Um,
You guys don't like the duck yet, but like last year you were always doing like the duck races, right? So I
yeah,
thought
but I don't want it. I don't want it on the. I mean, I don't want that duck head to be competing with your face, right? I mean, I want. I don't want that. I don't know. I have. I guess I don't. I don't think I could be duckhead. I guess I don't know. I don't know. I think we could beat that duckhead though. That duckhead.
So Alan, so what do you got coming after this Kickstarter? Like anything else besides?
yeah, so I'm juggling a couple of different series at the moment. It's maybe
Switch Alan to that side because if
To
I
my
make
side?
it really short, I don't want that duck face.
okay,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. The duck can be in front of Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm juggling a few different series right now. So, Shentu is the first series that I started with.
Right.
This was the first issue of it, and I just had the anthology come out. So next up for that series is going to be issue number 3, which is in progress, but it's probably going to be a few more months until that's ready. Princess Royale is actually like progressing a bit faster because I have like a very consistent working relationship with the
Right.
artist for this one, PR. So issue 2 for this one is already pretty close to complete. So probably I'll be able to release that within a couple of months or so. The other thing is I have been working on an indie manga series recently. It's called My Internet Friends, and it's like a sci-fi horror story set in the near future, and it's about people who are so after the internet has become obsolete, these people they physically go into the ruins of the internet and they kind of explore and fight monsters that are based on memes, and they recover people's lost data. So this is my first attempt at making a manga, and it's just going to be posted online for free. Because when I was doing the Kickstarter stuff for Shentu, I thought, monetization is something that you kind of have to do as an indie creator. Like obviously, like especially, I guess like if you do the art as well, then like if you want to, you could just release it for free. But since I'm paying the art teams for these projects, like I usually have to make some of the money back in order to keep going with it. But I feel like it really kind of it's a little bit of a downer on the creative process to like worry about like, oh, but how am I going to market this, how am I going to like make enough sales on this? So I wanted to have at least one project where I just, put it out there for free and like let people enjoy it. So I thought that with manga, like people are kind of used to reading manga for free, whether it's officially available or they're just pirating it online. So I figured it would make sense for this one to just release it online. And the first chapter is going to be released on June 15th.
Okay.
And I'm really excited for people to see that. I have the cover of chapter 1 that I can show you guys maybe.
All right.
Let me just pull
Yeah.
it up.
Make him big and put us on the side.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm turning blurry, but I guess it shouldn't matter if I share my screen.
Wait, if you shared it, yeah, share your screen.
Yeah, just get my blurry face off this. Okay.
There we go.
Can you guys see it now?
Yep, there we go.
So yeah, this is the cover of chapter 1. It's I'm
It's gonna
working.
be black and white. It's gonna be black and white.
Yeah, it's a manga, so it's all black and white. The artist is based in South America. His name is Mori, and he's so great to work with, like very, very friendly, very fast too. And I realized, like, with manga, the overall like speed of like making the pages is faster than with colored comics, just because black and white is faster. So even though I started this after my other projects, like I only started this in January or like February maybe. But the first chapter is like 62 pages, and it's already almost done. So I think with this one, I'll be able to release content like a little bit more regularly than with the Western comics projects.
Pretty cool. Art is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a very the artist has very good range, I think, because with manga, like some parts are very cute, right? But there are also some horror elements in the story, like they're like monster versions of memes. So I'm like, it's really a lot of variety within the art as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what medium you're going to use for free? Is it all digital or?
So it will just be all digital for now. I think if I can make it far enough, like 7 chapters or so, then I will try and print like a physical volume of the 7 chapters and maybe sell those. But for now, it's going to be all digital. And the release schedule is going to be so the chapters will come out every other month. So like the first one will be June 15th, and the second one will be August 15th. But we're also working on some 4-koma strips. Like, do you guys know like those like Japanese? They're like more like cartoons or comic strips, I guess, where it's just like single page, like 4 panels, like very simple comics. We're gonna make some of those in this series too, and release them every week on Sunday most likely. So even though the chapters come out every 2 months, there's gonna be like a 1-page like comedy
so
page
pretty much
coming
Sunday
out.
Sunday funny, pretty much.
Yeah, like that coming out every week. So the reason I wanted to do that is that most, like a lot of official manga, they release weekly, right? But obviously I don't have the budget or like the artist manpower to be able to release weekly. But I thought that if we could just post 1 page every week, then like it kind of replicates the feeling of weekly manga, and it helps people like remember that the comic exists.
Right.
Hopefully.
You ever use the Webtoon?
Webtoon, I have looked at, and I think you're allowed to post traditional manga on Webtoons, even if it's not the webcomic format. But I think it's also, people kind of advise against it because people who are reading on Webtoons, they're used to scrolling. So it just is kind of like not what they're looking for there if you post a regular format manga. So I'll probably post on some other websites instead.
Do you feel like way the
There he is.
webtoon format is
Hey, Taku.
that's what the format you want to create? Otaku Yang.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
Oh, no worries. Good to see you. Sorry, Naman, what were you saying about the format?
No, the way you want to format your comic book, webtoon is not the format that you want to use.
Yeah, I basically set out to make this one like a traditional manga format, instead of the webcomic scrolling format. And it is it's possible to convert it into a scrolling format as well. I think that like people do that a lot of the time if they want to post on webtoons. Like they'll like break it down into panels and then like kind of arrange it so you can scroll vertically. But I think that takes a lot of work, and so it doesn't really make sense for me to pursue that at this stage.
Yeah. Who doesn't like free stuff? I mean,
Yeah, see, I feel like like this, since this hasn't been released yet, I can't say whether it will be like successful or helpful or not. But my theory is that like if you're trying to like grow a following as a indie creator, it should help a lot to have like at least one work that is just available for free. Because if people who don't know who you are, then like it's like quite a large like barrier to entry if they have to like pay money to read something by you, right? So I think having like people a lot of the time they'll have like issue 1 of their comic be available for free, and that might be something that like I consider with Shentu and the other series in the future too. But for now, I think like if I just have this one series that like is online and available, then it just makes it easier to talk to people about checking out my work theoretically, because it's like it's one thing to say like, hey, like, do you want to read my comic, and another to say like, hey, do you want to buy my comic, right? So once chapter 1 of this goes up, like I'll always be able to say like, hey, like, if you want to see like something that I'm working on without having to put down any money, just like check out this website.
do you feel like your previous book has been successful so far?
Well, I would say yes, but like that depends on your definition of success, I guess. Like financially, like definitely not. But at this stage, right? It's like
With the people's eyes, that's what I meant. Like you feel like you got a lot of visibility.
I think so. I mean, it's harder to like I did get a lot of visibility relatively, but it's like because these are my first works, like. No, but like I was going from 0 visibility to like some, so it's like a little bit hard to compare when it's like you're just first starting out. But I do think that I have gotten a lot of opportunities and experience and connections from putting these first few issues out there. I mean, like especially with the anthology Memories of Spring. This part of the reason why I wanted to do an anthology, I think I told you guys when I was talking about it last year, was I wanted to work with a lot of different artists at once, like because it's good for working with different personalities and art styles, but also just developing my network more quickly than if I was working with one artist at a time. So I think like it just with these first few issues and anthology, like I didn't necessarily make a lot of money, but like I think it's given me some like really crucial initial momentum in this industry.
Good. You think you have a confidence built up with the artists that you work with?
Confidence?
Yeah. I mean,
Like my confidence in the
like for instance, I'm an artist, right?
I'm about to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Good night.
I'm sorry. These I mean, what I mean is like I'm an artist, right? And I go, you know what? I worked with Alan before on the spring. You know, I'm sorry. Anyway, I work with Alan. I really like his stuff. I think there's a lot of hope for this particular kind of storytelling. We trust his storytelling, and we want to work with him more. You know, of course, if they're just getting paid, they want to, you know.
right. I mean, it helps a lot. Like if I'm paying them, right? But I would say, I mean, I can't speak for the artists in terms of like whether how how they feel about how they feel about me. But I what I can say is that I do try to prioritize being someone who is easy to work with and like good to collaborate with. I because even before I got started writing and making comics, like I would see some of the horror stories about writers in comics or other industries as well. Like some people, they have like very big egos, or they're like control freaks or whatever. And that's why, like, even going into my first issue, what I tried to think was I might not be like the most skilled or knowledgeable or experienced writer starting out. Like that's kind of out of my control, but what is within my control is being like someone who's just not an asshole to work with, basically. So I tried to prioritize that from the beginning.
I don't think people are going to think. I mean, from what I have dealt with, I don't think that's going to be the case. You know, the uh, you know the I feel like I said this before to you guys, but I feel like as far as artists is concerned, I think uh, Asian community is well represented. You know, but I don't think I can say that about the writing, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's interesting because it's almost like there aren't many Asian American. I mean, I don't want to say, because there are Asian American writers, but it's like that's not a path many take. I think it's and that's why, Alan, kudos to you for really being devoted and passionate about writing. I wanted to ask like this internet, how much of the story do you have fleshed out? Do you have the whole entire sort of arc, kind of in your head, and how it's progressing, or are you kind of taking it as you go? How do you have it planned out?
So for my internet friends, I have like certain like what's the word for it? Like certain like aspects of the foundation of the world planned out. Like I basically I'll say I planned out like the setting a lot more solidly than I have planned out the plot for now, and that's and it's I've done it like that so that I can make sure I'm not like doing anything that's going to be like contradicted later. But the way I envision the story, it is kind of like a more open-ended story in which there can be just like a lot of different adventures, because with the premise and the setting, the internet is this vast digital world or digital universe, really, that's going to be a lot of fun to explore. And any website you can think of, like it might be like a good basis for like a chapter or an arc, like just I mean, if you think of like Amazon for example, like the internet visualization of that might be like, you know, like giant like digital warehouses or like stores where you can have like anything, you can buy anything and ship it anywhere. So any website could be like a good basis for a story. And so I tried to set it up so that like basically I know like how the world works, like who like the final bad guy is going to be potentially. But other than that, I'm basically like setting up the building blocks and setting up for you know, being able to do different arcs.
So Jeff Bezos is the final boss.
Yeah, or maybe like his AI like remnant, you know.
Young, your mic. Mic is off.
Naman, you're muted.
How can you tell I was talking? Have you ever read the novel called Otherland?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either.
I haven't either.
Huh?
No.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, it's I think it was his last name was Ted Williams. And he came out with the story. I mean, it kind of reminds me of this type of story. Kind of reminds me of where you basically visit different aspects of internet, and you know, like your representation of Amazon. Of course, they do a lot of online games. Is another place to go to, online game place, and but kind of what was that movie they had recently called? Not recently, years ago. Where they play all kind of internet games and stuff. What was that thing called? Do you know what I'm talking about? The movie. It was a movie. It was a pretty popular movie.
There, I feel like there's quite a few movies that deal with that sort of thing. Like, I mean, this Wreck-It Ralph for one. Like, are you thinking of a?
Not that one. But you're getting there. I mean,
are you thinking of like an animated movie or?
No, it was a live action movie. They have virtual devices on virtual missions.
Tron?
Not
or...
Tron. They have a
Ready Player One.
Yeah, Ready Player One.
Oh yeah. Katie just said it at the same time.
Yeah, Ready Player One. Yeah. You have you read it or watched the movie on that one?
No, I haven't actually. Isn't there a sequel coming out soon, or is it? Did it already come out?
I know when I watched Ready Player One, I was actually really really impressed by their vision of their vision of the future. It was really kind of it's weird because it wasn't like it wasn't necessarily like the technology wasn't the issue. It was because it was showing how technology could kind of rescue you from kind of your reality, right? Like in certain ways.
Yeah, reality is deteriorating, and the virtual reality is,
Right.
ever extending. And
right.
We don't take care of the reality. We take care of the virtual reality. So we're in this trailer house. With all fanciest gadgets, just like my room here. Probably most expensive part of my room is my computer. So,
computer stuff always costs too much.
I do want to like explore the themes in your book, but I'm just wondering what you're comfortable with sharing, because I know is the first issue out right now?
No, so you mean my internet friends? So yeah,
My internet
the
friends.
first chapter will come out next month. So it's not out yet. But I mean, what were you thinking of asking? Because I could talk about the the themes and overarching ideas
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
generally.
I guess, if you're comfortable talking with the characters and what inspired them.
Yeah, I can actually show them a little bit because
Jeff is not here. You probably can't.
Actually,
can I not? Because
can you
I can
Try
present.
presenting. I think you
Yeah,
can
let
present.
me.
Do you have Jeff's control panel?
Sorry, let me try and find the right page first, and then I'll see if I can present.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys see, or is it not on the?
I think Jeff may have to
Let me. Okay. Yeah, because I guess he's in control of the layout, right?
Yeah.
Well, I can just talk about the characters. So the
Oh, there we go.
Okay, so this is the new Instagram account I made specifically for this series, because I figured like if I'm going to be posting weekly pages and stuff like that, it's just easier if it's all organized in one account. So what I posted so far is the character designs for the main characters. This is Minerva. She's the main character, and she is a girl who is born immediately after the end of the internet. So in this setting, the world is in 2042, and the internet stopped basically like in 2025. So she's she's like the first generation that's like born after the internet. So she's looking back at the internet through this lens of like this thing that she didn't actually experience at all. And she has a very idealized version of the internet, because if you think about it, if you never experienced the internet, and you don't experience any of like the problems and the toxicity, it just sounds like the most amazing thing ever, right? And I mean, it is really amazing in a lot of ways that like I think that people take for granted nowadays, because like we're so used to it, right? So Minerva, like she kind of is a character who can highlight like she's like discovering the internet for the very first time, and like she's kind of appreciating like all the aspects of it that like we might take more for granted. But because she's so new to it and so naive, she's also she's like shocked when she discovers like the reality of like, oh, it was actually really toxic in a lot of ways. It was like kind of dangerous, and there's like all these problems with it. So she kind of provides like a fresh perspective on like both like the good and the bad of the internet. That's like her role as a character. And she also is kind of created to to really represent like the loneliness that people feel, and like how like they try to make friends online, because she's someone who like how like nowadays people like if they feel like really jaded about the internet, they'll think like, oh, like the internet has like ruined socialization, like before in the good old days, like we would just like go outside and talk to our friends, right? So Minerva is she has the opposite perspective of that, where she's living in a world without the internet, and she thinks, well, if only the internet existed, I would have all these friends like in different parts of the world, and I would be popular and I wouldn't be so lonely all the time. And so she's kind of a character who like represents like that feeling of wanting to like find some community online when you're struggling to find it in person. And in a way also she kind of represents how like it's easy to blame your current social situation like on like the current society. So it's like if the internet exists, you'll say like, oh, the internet is ruining everything. If there's no internet, like you might say, well, like if the internet existed, then I would be popular, right? So like it's kind of like a grass is greener situation where like it's always easy to blame something else for your lack of friends. And one of the like part of the journey that she goes on as a character is learning that like, oh, you know, maybe it's not like the internet or the lack of internet that's like responsible for me not making friends. You know, it's sometimes I just have to, you know, grow as a person, you know, and be someone that people like might want to actually be friends with. So she's the main character. I won't, you know, go on forever about all of them, but this is the secondary character. His name is Satoshi. So I based him. I guess like I mean all the characters are like kind of based on me because as a writer you can only really turn aspects of yourself into characters. And Minerva, she has like a lot of like my idealism, I guess, but Satoshi is like more literally based on me in some ways because he so in the story he is in his late 40s, and the reason for that is because I specifically made his age like how old like I will be in 2042, just so like his so that he would have experienced the internet like at the exact same time as me, you know? So just so it like syncs up that way, so that like basically, you know, my memories of like what the internet was like in the, you know, the 2000s or the early 2010s, Satoshi was the exact same age like in those years. So like it's just like easy to like have him like represent my memories of the internet. And he kind of contrasts with Minerva, where like basically Minerva is the, you know, the naive girl who like loves the internet, and then Satoshi is like the guy who's like kind of like burned out about the internet and just like thinks it was like just this horrible toxic place. So I guess it's kind of like I took my positive feelings and negative feelings about the internet and I like separated it into two characters.
Nice.
Yeah, and this is the final main character. It's a trio. This is the only main character who's not actually a human. She's kind of like an AI antivirus program, and in the story she's like Satoshi's partner as they're like traveling through the internet. So she's kind of like the cool like emotionless like badass female character, which I don't like. I'm a big fan of that archetype, so I had to like work that in there one way or another. But yeah, these three are the central characters to begin with, and because you know the series is called My Internet Friends, like the cast is definitely going to grow like over the course of the chapters, and you know the group makes more friends, and it's kind of like they're building up like a party. I really love manga and anime like One Piece and Fairy Tail and Dandadan, where it's like the group is like growing in size like with each arc, you know, because it feels exciting and that there's that sense of progression and I think it's just really lovely. So I definitely wanted to do that too in my manga project.
I think this is great. I mean, your introduction to manga world is basically yourself, you know, and you are introducing yourself to the manga world, and very clever, Alan.
Yeah, I love the concept, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, what better way to, you know, I mean, start? What better way to introduce manga to yourself? You introduce yourself to manga world, right?
So,
Yeah, you know, like even before I started doing this, like even when I was making comics, like Western comics, like at first I didn't like realize that I could try to make manga because it's such a Japanese thing. So that like if you're being a purist about it, like you know you should be Japanese or like based in Japan to make manga. But once I started working on this, like I realized like I have so much love for the medium, for manga specifically, because I've become a big fan of Western comics in the last like 2 or 3 years. But manga is like what I grew up with as a kid and as a teenager. So it's something I have more experience with than Western comics even.
Hmm.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is there a specific?
I'm gonna excuse myself, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna excuse Alan, thanks for doing
Yeah,
this.
thanks for stopping by. It's
Yeah,
great to chat.
sorry, it's getting really late.
Yeah, I know it's really late for all. Are you guys all on the East Coast?
I'm on the West Coast.
Oh, right.
I have some
Yeah,
days.
I'm on the east, so yeah, so it's getting late.
On the Bernard one, really too late. But I'm sorry, Bernard, I couldn't stay that long, and I can do it twice in a row. So anyway,
Yeah, well, thanks for stopping by.
See
thanks,
you later, dog.
you guys. How do I gracefully exit here?
So I'm just wondering what specific, I guess, influences from manga have you, like, who are your, I guess, favorite writers or artists, and what kinds of content have you like really sort of shaped, I guess, your creative side from the manga sphere?
From manga, I think that the big one would be One Piece. Like it's just such a long running series, and like I actually a lot of my experience as a writer is specifically due to One Piece, because I got my start as a teenager on these online like text-based role-playing forums where it was like I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything like this, but there's like forums where you can like just like you join a community and everyone makes their own like character set in a specific world, whether it's like One Piece or like Pokemon or like whatever popular franchise, right? So everyone just like makes characters and you like interact with each other's characters, and it's like a lot of fun. And I must have written like hundreds of thousands of words of just that, like on a One Piece forum specifically. So that was how I gained a lot of experience with creative writing at first, and also like One Piece definitely influenced me a lot because it's just such a like a wacky, unique adventure that has like gone on for literally decades, and it just keeps building upon itself. And so it made me realize like I really love ongoing stories, and I think that's one of my favorite things about like comic books as a medium, like the fact that like there's always gonna be the next issue, like up until the series gets canceled or like rebooted or whatever, but like you at least have the illusion that like the story is gonna go on like forever, right? And I think that's a really magical feeling, like because it's very comforting in a way to know that like, especially for the the bigger characters like Batman or Superman or Spider-Man, like you just know like they're always going to have more adventures, and like there's always going to be like you're always going to get to spend more time with them as characters, and that's very reassuring if they're a comfort character for you. And so I really love that aspect of like that ongoing nature in comics and manga. And I think One Piece is one of the best examples of it, because it's like I mean, One Piece might actually end like in the next few years, I think, but I mean it's been going on for decades at this point. But for most of its life, One Piece, like it really felt like they could just keep like sailing and going to new islands and having new adventures forever. And that sense of like infinite wonder and exploration was a big influence on me.
Cool. Jeff, you got anything to add?
No. Before I have any more technical difficulties, I might want
Yeah,
to call
what's
it.
going
Before,
on?
yeah. So I might want to call this before I get any more technical difficulties, because so far it's going well, but
Gotcha.
yeah, but you got anything going on, Alan? Anything in the near future going on? And Otaku after you, Otaku, if you got anything going on.
Yeah. So the next release from me will be chapter 1 of My Internet Friends, which will go live on June 15th, most likely. And hopefully we can put like the link to the link tree in the video description after this is finished.
Yeah,
So
I'll
people
take
can
care
check
of that.
out if they want. Other than that, I'll be going to Phoenix Fan Fusion in just a couple of weeks.
Okay.
In Phoenix, of course. I'm not going to be tabling, but I am going to be doing one panel that's like an indie comic creator showcase on either Friday or Saturday. I think it's Saturday. But I'll be there in Phoenix if anyone else is attending, definitely come say hi. And after that, I will be tabling at Amazing Comic Con here in Las Vegas I think it's in mid June. So again, if anyone's going to that, I'd love to say hi. So
Awesome.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
What you got going on, Otaku? Before this thing goes.
Nothing. I mean, just nothing. Got absolutely nothing. We're just wrapping up AAPI Heritage Month, and I think this is our last featured guest.
There's I think Fang Fang is on Monday, so there should be at least one more.
Okay. So we still got a couple, people that we're featuring. Just wanted to get your thoughts, Alan. I know you've been sitting in on a lot of these conversations. What have been your thoughts on this 2025 API Comic Book Community Heritage Month?
It's been great because like I think the ones that I joined in on, like basically all of them were like people that like I didn't interact with like in last year's version or like in person or anything like that. So this was a really great way for me to just learn more about some of the other Asian creators in the community, and it's just been both fun and like very like enriching, I guess, and motivating, to see like everyone else's journey and like their passions and what they're trying to do next.
Mm-hmm. Jeff, what do you got going on?
Well, tomorrow at 6 p.m. I got a Vampy Book Club, so we're gonna be going over Vampy 1, Warren magazine. So we're gonna be going over probably only the Vampy story, or it might be the whole book, depending on how it goes. So, but it might be just the Vampy story, and then comparing that one to some other stuff. But that's
I always see your posts on Instagram with like cosplayers and stuff. Some saucy stuff.
So Vampy, so it's gonna be Vampy Book Club. So so we're gonna be going over the whole Warren run. So every Sunday at 6. So if you guys anybody want to join, just hit me up on Instagram and let me know, and we can go over the details and everything else. But that's what I got going. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it every Sunday.
Okay.
There's 113 issues, so it's gonna be one issue each Sunday. So
yeah,
and with
and
then that was with Dale.
What's up, Dylan, man?
Yeah,
Anthony's Playboy.
that's why he calls me because of the cosplayer thing. Yeah, but that's that me and Dell are gonna be good doing the first issue, and you know, we got some. I got some stuff planned, so. But that's pretty much what I got going on, and then I got a couple of interviews trying to set up. It's just through getting a hold of them is a little hard, but yeah, I got some interviews coming up, so just be on the lookout on the channel and be on the lookout for us Double Tigers next week, and we'll check you guys later.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.